All right. Blue Jays talk. Mostly injury news today. Scott is away. He's on the road in Northwest Territories for some comedy shows up there. So just me, and we got injuries to get to. So, a couple injury updates. We're going to go through all four of these and maybe discuss how concerning are they for next year. Gausman, day to day, he was, I believe, 58 pitches into a no-hitter yesterday against the Rangers. Left the game, lower back tightness. If this was a regular year where we were competitive, I'd be a lot more concerned about this. I like this. I like the maturity of this move to pull himself out of a game that doesn't matter. I mean, does the no-no matter? Yeah, you betcha. But from a team standpoint, it's meaningless. 9 games left in the season. We're long gone from playoff contention. I think the quote after the game was he just wanted to make sure he wasn't throwing with all arm, which for a guy we've got tens of millions of dollars invested in, I like that decision. So Gausman, day to day, lower back issue. Expected to make his next scheduled start, so shouldn't be too big of a deal, but let's see how long he goes in that one. With just 9 games left on the schedule, might be his last one of the year. Beyond that, Bichette scratched from Wednesday's lineup against the Rangers due to a right middle finger contusion. Sounds like jammed his fingertip taking grounders during the warm-up. So, Bichette just nothing can go right for him this year. I do feel a little bit bad for him. But the millions of dollars he banked, I'm sure, is a nice enough consolation. He doesn't need consolation from me. One thing with Bichette, though, finger injury. What kind of finger injury? Chicken finger? Look at this guy. He has looked thick out there. Is this a concern? The obvious weight gain. I guess let me know in the comments where you're at on this Bichette weight gain. For me, I mean, obviously I'd rather see him slender and fit as he always has been. But I'd rather see him overweight now than have him show up overweight in February, in March and April for spring training. I don't know if he ever anticipated making a comeback this year. It definitely looks like he's let himself go. Could do nothing but speculate as to the motive or the thought process behind that. But yeah, tough one for Bichette. Season from hell continues to stay hot. Calf injury all year. Now broken finger. The weight gain. It's not good. I've kind of started the idea in the last couple weeks that I think he's back with the Blue Jays next year. That's a feeling I did not feel for a long time. Most of the season. I think you're all with me on that. The weight gain, I feel like, lends to that likelihood, I think. Unless he has a hell of a winter, which is very possible. But, yeah, I could see a slightly overweight Bichette playing for the Blue Jays next spring. And, Next year's his last year under contract. Do we get a short bridge deal done? Do we get a 2 or 3 year deal extension? I mean, that's definitely in the realm of possibilities to get this guy a bridge deal. Still sees him re-enter free agency on the right side of 30. Yeah, I don't know. It feels likelier and likelier that Bo's back next year. What else we got? Will Wagner, done for the year, getting shut down, having his left knee scoped in Cleveland. This shouldn't threaten next ball season. Should return for spring training as per Sportsnet. Good start to the year. 26-year-old be unavailable for the remainder of the season. These games mean nothing. His last 9 games. I'm not worried about this for next year. What I am worried about, Daulton Varsho to undergo shoulder surgery on his right shoulder. That is his throwing arm. The Jays will have a clearer timeline once Varsho completes the procedure, but Schneider didn't rule out the possibility that the rehab process carries into next year's spring training. This has red flags all over the place for me with Daulton Varsho. I mean, I guess if I wanted to be as optimistic as I could, a guy who's almost entirely his value, I think a 3.2 wins above replacement, and 3.0 of those come from his defensive metrics. So quite literally, his entire value comes from his defensive abilities. Right shoulder, throwing arm shoulder, I guess it's better even if he has a shoulder thing that nags through the first half of next year. That's better than like an ankle injury or a knee injury, right? Or a back injury. Like, he can still play pretty phenomenal outfield with a bum throwing arm. Right? Not necessarily a bum throwing arm, but with a throwing arm with reduced capacity. I'd never consider him to be a rocket arm outfielder as it is. It's his ability to go get balls, take a good line on a ball, lay out for a ball. And those are things that I don't think he could do if this was a back issue, or if this was a knee issue or an ankle issue. I'd be a lot more worried. So let's... I don't like the idea of him missing time at all or any kind of setback. But that's the optimistic take, is that should still be elite defender for us, even with the lingering consequences of this shoulder surgery. Offensively, it's not going to help. It's not going to help. That's it. That's the main injuries of the day. Gausman, not worried. Kind of like the way he handled it. Bichette, I'm more worried about the weight gain than I am this finger injury. Will Wagner, not concerned at all. Should be back in time for spring training without an issue. And I don't like him as a starting infielder for us, regardless of this injury. As a depth piece, yeah, absolutely. Love Will Wagner. And then Daulton Varsho, I would say, is my highest level of concern right now. We'll see how the procedure goes. But it is what it is. That's that. Let's end with this here. Ranking MLB top free agents with the postseason looming. So this is John Heyman article with the New York Post. Juan Soto, number 1, obviously. There's, I think, 8 in this article. Let's just kind of go roughly through each one, and then let me know in the comments your heat rating, how much you'd like to see the Blue Jays go after each of these top free agents. Juan Soto, number 1. The Yankees, understandably anxious to bring back Soto. They didn't trade for Soto thinking he'd be there for just 1 year, obviously. He's so young. Going to be a lot of big spenders at play. Giants, Blue Jays, Cubs tried to trade for Soto. Dodgers and Phillies can never be ruled out. So they have a 13 agent poll suggested $520 million for Juan Soto. But John Heyman suggesting he cracks $600 million or comes close. A lot of money. That's a lot of money. I think if he's pushing $600 million, 580 to 600, I bet you it's in a more conventional contract than what we saw with Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani, by the way, that 50-50 season, spectacular. Juan Soto. Do I want to see the Jays go for Juan Soto? Not unless we're prepared to close it. I don't even want to entertain it unless we are willing to give him a blank check. If that's the bargain, that like, okay, Bo's gone next year, Juan Soto is the face of this billion-dollar franchise. How much do you want? Name your price and come on down. Sure. But a whisker short of that, I don't even want to bother. I'm so sick of being the runner-up, Corbin Burns with the Orioles now. Orioles have money to spend. They're likely going to offer big money to keep Corbin Burns. This line here, though, might he shoot for Garrett Cole money? What do you think about Garrett Cole money on Corbin Burns? Do the Jays need Corbin Burns? Absolutely not. Would we benefit from Corbin Burns? Yeah, you betcha. Put him at number 1 with a rotation that looks like Corbin Burns, Jose Barrios, Gausman, Bassett, and then maybe you've got Bowden Francis. Maybe he is your number 5. I feel a lot better with Bowden Francis as our number 5 if we've got a real top-end guy like Corbin Burns at the top than I do with Bowden Francis as our number 5 because we went out and signed Yusei Kikuchi to be our number 4 again. You know what I mean? Willie Adames, huge platform year, set him up for a monster deal. 32 home runs for him this year and 109 RBIs. Could translate to $200 million. That's wild to me. I don't think the rest of the numbers on Willie Adames are that spectacular, but this is probably the deal that Bichette is keeping an eye on closely. $200 million. Is that an 8-year deal? 10-year deal? I don't know. 32 home run power out of a shortstop, though, is good. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Pete Alonso. Sorry, back to Willie Adames. I don't think the Jays are in on the Willie Adames sweepstakes. Let's just put that out there. Pete Alonso, an alleged off year, still has 33 home runs. A 127 OPS plus. The Mets tried 158 last year, but he can probably beat that. One rival predicts 185. If not the Mets, then the Astros, Rangers, Mariners, Orioles, Padres, and Cubs all work. Possibly the Yankees if Soto walks. I think if Soto walks, Alonso is the next best option for the Yankees. The people in New York already love him. Although I guess I don't know how that works, that Mets-Yankees fan base dynamic. I don't know. I would love him as a Blue Jay. This is a 10 out of 10, my number one guy. Max Fried, his 2.89 ERA is the lowest among qualified starters since 2021, and his 9th all-time in ERA plus with a 139 mark. There you go. What's Max Fried get you? Bregman, here's the top third base option. $151 million deal for Matt Chapman. Likely raised the bar for third baseman. Who's better hitter and nearly as great a fielder. Proved he could play shortstop in a pinch. Surely second as well. The Astros don't like Xander Bogaerts' comp, and they've been willing to let core stars leave. Does he go back to the Astros? I think he has to take a discount in order to do that. As Jays fans, we know firsthand they're willing to let core stars leave. George Springer with the Jays. Is Bregman a guy? Does James Click have a fondness for Alex Bregman? We talked Eugenio Suarez as an option at third base. Do you want Alex Bregman? Do you want to go for the top of the third baseman market? Would you rather have $200 million invested in Bichette at shortstop or $200 million invested at Alex Bregman at third base? That's a question, hey? That's a question. And we got Blake Snell with an asterisk of the opt-out. Going to pay off big time after he produced dominance in San Francisco. A second straight season of excellence. The Giants surely want him back, but the rival Dodgers, who got into the Snell sweepstakes late, could as well. Blake Snell, I don't want him on the Jays. That's a no for me, dog. Anthony Santander, 41 homers this year. Could make him a 9-figure guy. Who knows? Next tier, we got Nate Eovaldi, Sean Manaea, Jack Flaherty, Teoscar, Yusei Kikuchi, Christian Walker, Luis Severino. Who are your top dogs in free agency that you want this Jays team to go after? Gotta make a splash. Gotta make a splash. That's it. Short one for the Friday show today. We'll be back this Sunday with Long Toss, and then catch you guys on Patreon MLB Mondays this Monday, and of course Mailbag on Tuesday. Everybody enjoy your weekend. Stay safe out there, and go Jays, go.